Victor Newman may think he has finally boxed Phyllis Summers into a corner, but one small mistake could turn his entire plan against him. Because this time, the fight over Newman Enterprises may not just destroy Phyllis, Kane Ashby, and Billy Abbott, it could also put Malcolm Winter's life in danger at the worst possible moment. On The Young and the Restless, the latest spoilers point toward a major twist as Lily Winters and Holden Novak may end up joining forces to clear Kane's name. And if they do, the question becomes very simple. Could they be the ones to find the AI glitch that shatters Victor's carefully built case? Right now, Victor is sitting in a very powerful position. He believes he has the upper hand, and for the moment it looks like he does. His goal is clear. He wants Newman Enterprises back from Phyllis Summers, and he is willing to use a devastating scheme to make that happen. Victor has created a pile of AI-generated emails that make it look like Phyllis, Kane, and Billy illegally obtained the company. On the surface, the evidence appears damaging. It does not just point toward bad business moves, it points toward something much bigger, something that could destroy reputations, careers, and freedom. At first, Victor used that evidence as a weapon directly against Phyllis. He presented her with the proof, and he also had old Newman employees ready to support the statements behind it. It was not just a warning, it was blackmail. Victor wanted Phyllis to feel cornered. He wanted her to believe that returning Newman Enterprises was her only way out. In Victor's mind, the pressure should have been enough. Phyllis was supposed to look at the evidence, understand the danger, and hand the company back before things got worse. But Phyllis did not fold. Instead, she called Victor's bluff. That choice changed everything, because Victor was not just making empty threats. Once Phyllis refused to give in, the situation moved into much more dangerous territory. During the Friday, May 1 episode, Victoria Newman stepped forward with a damaging bundle of evidence and presented it to Genoa City's new district attorney, Christine Romalotti. And that detail matters. Christine is not just any district attorney, she is also Phyllis's longtime enemy. So when this evidence lands in Christine's hands, the personal history underneath the legal battle makes the situation feel even more dangerous for Phyllis. Victor may have started this as a business war, but now it is turning into a legal crisis. And once Christine has that evidence, the threat becomes much harder to control. The preview for the week of May 4 through May 8 shows just how serious things may get. Kane Ashby is expected to be arrested at the GCAC, and Lily is there watching in horror. For Lily, this is not just another shocking Genoa City scandal, this is personal. Kane is not simply being dragged into a corporate mess. His arrest could have consequences far beyond his own future. The spoilers suggest that Kane, Phyllis, and possibly Billy may be hauled off to the GCPD and booked. That alone would be explosive. But the bigger question is whether they will be released on bail and how long Kane could be stuck dealing with the legal fallout. Because for Kane, the timing could not be worse. He is supposed to donate bone marrow to Malcolm Winters. Malcolm's life is on the line as he battles aplastic anemia, and he desperately needs a bone marrow transplant. This has already been an emotional situation for Lily and the Winters family. For weeks, family members have been tested, hoping someone might be a match. But no donor turned up and hope was starting to fade. Then Tane offered to get tested, and Kane was a match. That changed everything.
Suddenly, there was a chance. Suddenly, Malcolm's life had a path forward. Kane's donation gave Lily and Malcolm a reason to believe the transplant could actually happen. But now, Kane's arrest threatens to derail all of that. If Kane lands in jail, Malcolm's surgery could be delayed. And depending on how bad things get, the surgery could even be put at risk completely. That is what makes this storyline so much bigger than Victor's fight with Phyllis.
Victor's plan may be aimed at reclaiming Newman Enterprises, but the fallout could strike Malcolm directly. A corporate revenge scheme could stand in the way of a life-saving procedure. And that is where Lily may be pushed into action. Lily will not be able to just stand back and watch Kane be taken down, especially when Malcolm's survival may depend on him being free and available for the transplant. If the evidence against Kane is what is blocking the surgery, then that evidence has to be challenged. The case against him has to be picked apart. And if Victor's so-called proof is built on AI-generated emails, then the answer may be hiding in the details. That is where Holden Novak could become important. The spoilers hint that Lily and Holden may team up to clear Kane's name. And if that happens, Holden could end up playing a much bigger role than anyone expected. He may not just be another person in the background. He may be one of the people who helps uncover the flaw in Victor's plan. Because with AI evidence, there is always the possibility of a mistake. Victor may believe his fake emails are strong enough to fool everyone. He may believe the evidence looks clean, damaging, and convincing. But AI-generated material often carries clues. Sometimes those clues are obvious. Sometimes they are buried in something small, a strange date, a detail that does not line up, a pattern that feels unnatural, a tiny glitch that most people would miss. And that tiny glitch could become the crack that brings Victor's entire case crashing down. The whole AI storyline has already raised plenty of eyebrows among fans. The idea that an AI software program could decimate a company feels like a stretch to many viewers. AI can do incredible things, and there is no denying that. Photos, videos, and written content can sometimes look real enough to fool people at first glance. But there are often signs. With AI content, things do not always look or sound the same as something made by a real person. There are usually little clues that separate generated material from genuine material, and in the real world, there is also software designed to detect AI-generated content. That is why this storyline has felt a bit questionable to some fans. So far, Y&R has chosen not to focus too much on that real-life factor. The evidence has been treated as strong enough to create serious danger for Phyllis, Kane, and Billy. But that does not mean the AI issue will be ignored forever. In fact, it could become the twist that changes everything. Christine had to go through a stack of emails, and in the real world, that kind of evidence would likely be examined very carefully. An assistant district attorney, police officers, and possibly technical experts would probably go through each email line by line. They would look for inconsistencies. They would check metadata. They would search for anything that suggests the evidence was created or altered. But Genoa City is not the real world. This is soap territory, where the most important detail is often overlooked until the perfect dramatic moment. And that may be exactly where this story is heading. Christine may have the evidence in her hands. Victoria may have delivered it with confidence. Victor may believe his plan is already working. But if Lily, Holden, Devon Hamilton Winters, and Nate Hastings start looking closely, they may notice something Christine missed. And one overlooked detail could change Kane's fate. For Lily, this fight is going to be deeply emotional. Kane's arrest is already horrifying enough, but the real pressure comes from what it could mean for Malcolm. Malcolm is not just a patient in need of a procedure, he is Lily's biological father. His life is on the line, and Kane's bone marrow match gave him a real chance. After weeks of disappointment and failed searches for a donor, Kane became the person who could help save him. So if Kane is taken away at the exact moment Malcolm needs him most, Lily will have every reason to push back hard. She will not just be fighting for Kane's name, she will be fighting for Malcolm's future. That is why it makes sense for Lily to turn to the people closest to her: Devon Hamilton Winters, Nate Hastings, and Holden Novak could all become part of the effort to review the evidence and find a way to prove Kane was set up. Devon would have every reason to get involved because this is the Winters family. Nate would have every reason too, especially with Malcolm's medical crisis hanging over everything. And Holden, as a newer face in this family circle, could have a chance to prove where his loyalty really stands. The spoilers suggest that Lily may bring this group together, and if they start digging through that stack of emails, Holden could be the one who catches something. Maybe it is a date that does not make sense. Maybe one email does not line up with the timeline. Maybe something in the language feels off. Maybe the pattern of the messages points toward generated material instead of real communication. Whatever the detail is, it does not have to be huge at first. In fact, it may be more powerful if it is small. A small detail can be easy to miss, especially when everyone is focused on the bigger scandal. But in a case like this, one tiny mistake could expose the entire setup. Christine may have overlooked it, Victoria may not have noticed it, Victor may have assumed the evidence was airtight. But if Holden catches that one flaw, it could become a major turning point. That would not just help Kane, it could also change the way Devon and Nate see Holden. Holden has not had the deepest roots in the Winters family yet. He is still someone who needs to prove himself in many ways. But helping Lily uncover the truth and potentially saving Kane from a false case would matter. And if that also helps keep Malcolm's transplant on track, then Holden's role becomes even more meaningful. It could show that Holden is not just standing nearby, he is stepping up. It could help redeem him in Devon and Nate's eyes. And more than that, it could prove that he has the heart of a Winters when it really counts. At the same time, Kane's own image may also be shifting. His willingness to donate bone marrow to Malcolm already puts him in a very different light. He is not just a man caught in a legal storm, he is also the person who may be able to save Malcolm's life. That makes his arrest even more painful. If Kane was simply facing consequences in a business scandal, the story would already be dramatic. But adding Malcolm's life or death medical need raises the stakes. It makes the situation urgent. It gives Lily a reason to act quickly, and it makes Victor's plan feel even more dangerous, whether Victor intended that part of the damage or not. Because Victor's goal is Newman Enterprises. He wants to reclaim what he believes belongs to him. He wants to crush Phyllis's hold on the company and regain control. But his tactics could create a chain reaction that reaches far beyond Phyllis. Kane could lose his freedom. Billy could be pulled into a legal nightmare. Phyllis could be pushed into one of the biggest fights of her life. And Malcolm's transplant could be delayed when there may not be time to lose. That is the kind of pressure that could bring everyone together against Victor. Still, the biggest question is whether Victor Newman will actually lose this battle. Victor has survived scandal after scandal. He has manipulated situations, outplayed enemies, and come out on top more times than anyone can count. In Genoa City, taking down Victor is never simple. Even when it looks like he is cornered, he usually finds a way to turn the game around. But this time, there may be one thing he cannot control: the evidence itself. If the emails are AI-generated, then they may carry a flaw that even Victor cannot erase. And if that flaw is found before Kane, Phyllis, and Billy are destroyed, then Victor's plan could backfire in a very public way. That would be a major shift. Victor's enemies have often struggled to prove what he has done. They may know he is behind something, they may feel it, they may even have pieces of the truth, but proving it is another matter. This AI glitch could be different. If Lily, Holden, Devon, and Nate find something concrete, something that shows the emails were produced instead of real, then the entire case could start to collapse. Christine would have to face the possibility that the evidence she received was not what it appeared to be, And that could put Victoria in a very uncomfortable position too. Because Victoria is the one who submitted the evidence. Even if she believed she was helping her father and protecting Newman interests, she still handed over that damaging material to the district attorney. If the emails are exposed as fake, then Victoria could face serious questions. Did she know? Did she suspect anything? Was she simply acting on Victor's behalf? Or did she become part of a scheme that could put innocent people in legal danger? The spoilers do not confirm exactly what consequences Victoria may face, but the question alone is enough to create tension. Victoria may think she is making a strategic move against Phyllis, but if Victor's evidence falls apart, she could be standing right in the middle of the fallout. And that would create another layer of drama inside the Newman family. Victor may be powerful, but even he cannot always protect everyone from the consequences of his own schemes. If Victoria becomes exposed because of the evidence she submitted, then she may have to answer for a plan that was never as clean as it looked. Meanwhile, Phyllis is also in a dangerous position. She called Victor's bluff, and that was a bold move. But now that the evidence has gone to Christine, Phyllis may be facing the price of that decision. Victor wanted to scare her into surrender. When she refused, he escalated. Now, whether Phyllis can survive this may depend on whether someone can prove that the evidence is false. Kane's situation is even more urgent because of Malcolm's transplant. Billy may also be dragged into the same legal mess, depending on how far the case goes. But Kane's arrest at the GCAC, with Lily watching in horror, is the emotional turning point that makes this story hit hardest. That image says everything. Lily sees the man who may be able to save Malcolm being taken away. She sees the future of the transplant becoming uncertain. She sees Victor's power move turning into something that could hurt her family in a very real way. And in that moment, Lily cannot stay still. She needs answers. She needs the truth. And she needs Kane free before it is too late for Malcolm. That is why the possible Lily and Holden team-up matters so much. This is not just about proving Kane innocent, it is about racing against a legal trap that could have life or death consequences. If Holden can find the clue, if Lily can push the right people to look closer, and if Devon and Nate join the effort, the Winters family may become the force that exposes Victor's mistake. May sweeps are expected to heap this storyline up, and that timing makes sense. The arrest, the AI evidence, Malcolm's medical crisis, and Victor's scheme are all colliding at once. The question is where the explosion lands. Will Phyllis and Kane go down under the weight of Victor's manufactured evidence? Will Billy get pulled into the same downfall? Will Christine realize too late that she was handed something flawed? Will Victoria face backlash for delivering evidence that may not be real? And most importantly, will Lily and Holden find the one tiny AI glitch that finally makes Victor Newman taste defeat? Because if Kane's freedom is the key to Malcolm's survival, then this is no longer just Victor's battle for Newman Enterprises. It is a race against time. And if Lily discovers that Victor's plan could cost Malcolm his chance at life, how far will she go to make sure the moustache finally pays?